welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Today's video we're going to be talking about one, Harry Kane. Could he be on the way out of Tottenham this summer, or could he actually be re-signing with Spurs going forward? With 18 months left on his contract, the saga of where Harry Kane's future lies has resurrected itself somewhat over the recent days, with the England striker appearing to be open to both leaving and also apparently re-signing with his current club of Tottenham. We're going to be taking a look at the Harry Kane saga, looking at what may happen and talking about my personal thoughts on this particular topic. But before we go any further, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things are always very greatly appreciated. But for now, let's talk about one, Harry Kane. Harry Kane, like I say, England striker, Tottenham striker, on projection, I guess you'd say, to be breaking numerous amounts of goal-scoring records in a Tottenham shirt in the Premier League. Of course, he's broken numerous amounts already. Plenty of individual accolades to his name. But there are no trophies, there are no winners' medals to his name. There are a few runners-up medals, European Championships, Champions League, Carabao Cup, but no genuine silverware. No winners' medals whatsoever, and that will be the thing that, if he does decide to stay at Tottenham, in my opinion, will be something that will hang over his head when he retires. The fact that he will go down as probably one of the greatest strikers ever in world football, definitely ever in the Premier League, and he won't have won anything. Golden boots, of course, he's got a few of them. Team of the years, player of the years, whatever you want to call it, he's probably got a few of them too. But no winners' medals. And I feel like if he stays at Spurs, there'll be no winners' medals when he retires. Of course, things can change and stranger things have happened, but let's face it, right now Spurs don't look in any way, shape or form ready to be challenging for the major honours. Maybe a Carabao Cup, possibly even an FA Cup, but the league title, a Champions League title, no. Definitely not in a position right now, unless obviously certain promises are made and kept at Spurs. And let's face it, at 29 years of age, he'll be 30 by the beginning of next season. Kane is not getting any younger. And whilst he's still a phenomenal striker, a clinical, prolific, consistent finisher, would fit into any team in the Premier League right now, barring maybe Manchester City, unless they play two strikers. I just don't understand why he would sign on with Spurs. I can understand it in an admirable sense, actually, to an extent, of course. If he's happy and he's settled in that part of London, then fair play to him. If he's happy and he's settled in that part of London, family life-wise, outside of football, then that's admirable in itself. If he's happy being a one-club man to an extent, ignoring the loan spells, that's fine too. That's admirable. If he wants to play out the rest of his career as a Tottenham legend because he just loves Tottenham so much, that is somewhat admirable and I can excuse it. But to me, it shows a lack of ambition. For a player of his ability, for a player of his talent, for a player who is on course to be breaking numerous amounts of records, or more so than what he's already broken so far, it just shows a lack of ambition to me that you wouldn't jump ship now and have a better opportunity at winning silverware. The likes of Bayern Munich are supposedly interested from Sky sources, and Manchester United have supposedly been linked with him yet again, as Eric Ten Hag continues his rebuild at Manchester United. And obviously, Bayern Munich, you're pretty much guaranteed a Bundesliga title. I don't think he'd want to go there, because I think he'd want to stay in the Premier League and he'd want to stay in England and whatever, which is fair enough. But Manchester United, you could easily break that goal-scoring record, the all-time Premier League goal-scoring record, with United, with what Ten Hag is building. Very much easily, that is a very good possibility. He probably could still break it to Spurs, but the difference with United and Spurs is that United are on this upwards trajectory under Ten Hag, in which he's rebuilding them and he's getting them to be a more solid outfit than they have been in years. And of course, they're looking more and more dangerous with each passing game. And of course, as Ten Hag continues this rebuild, it's only going to get more and more dangerous, more and more likely that United will be back challenging for trophies again. That's the difference with that. And like I say, Kane isn't getting any younger. Jumping ship right now, no one could hold it against him if he did decide that, because he wants to win trophies. Unless he doesn't. Unless he wants to continue breaking goal scoring records with Tottenham, being a one club man, like I say, then if he's happy with doing that, admirable. But I think it shows the lack of ambition, and I think he's a bit of an idiot. But this is his last chance. This is his last chance. I thought his last chance came obviously last year when we had the whole Harry Kane to Manchester City saga, and obviously that ended up not going anywhere, and it ended up with Spurs keeping hold of Kane, even though it was seemingly somewhat against his will a little bit, but at the same time he had a contract. He didn't put in a buyout clause or anything along those lines, so it was kind of Harry Kane at that point, that he didn't obviously cover all bases, shall we say, within his own contract. If he does go, you can't hold it against him, I don't think. He obviously wants a better opportunity to win trophies. Somewhere like Manchester United would obviously provide that more than Tottenham right now. And I say that because it would be baffling if he re-signed with Tottenham, in my opinion, because they're in a bit of uncertainty right now. They're in a bit of an unknown state right now. You look at the squad, you look at the lack of investment within that squad to an extent. I know that they've obviously bought a few big players here and there for big money, and I get that, but there's not been enough, in my opinion, from the ownership to build a full squad. When you look at the likes of what Chelsea is spending or what Arsenal have spent over the past several years, and I think that's obviously what has annoyed Tottenham fans most about this season. Not just the fact that Arsenal are winning or are on top of the Premier League and so forth, it's just the fact that they've spent a lot of money. Todd Bowley's been in charge of Chelsea for about 6 or 7 months, and already he's spent almost 500 million or whatever it is on new players and everything. So, you know, that's obviously annoyed them as well. And you know, the Daniel Levy out chance and out brigade are getting stronger in numbers, it seems. But there's an uncertainty as well with the squad, like I mentioned, a lack of investment there, and there's also an uncertainty with the manager. Like, I could understand if Spurs, in my opinion, should have been a lot further on right now under Conte than what they have been. For a large part of this season, they've been unconvincing, in my opinion. They've been a little bit underwhelming than what I thought they would be. But somehow, they're still within the top 6. It feels like they've, apart from that Fulham game, obviously Monday night, in which they won, and obviously Harry Kane was the match winner on that day, it felt like they hadn't won in God knows how long. And I don't understand why they're still that high in the table, but they're still high in the table. The point is that Conte is one of the best managers in world football, and I get that. I think he's not entirely blameless for how Tottenham's season's panned out so far, even though they had a pretty good transfer window. Not exactly the best performances, sometimes not the best results, but he's still one of the best managers in the Premier League in football right now. His future over the past few days has been called into question. DiMarzio is reporting, obviously, that he will not be the manager of Tottenham Hotspur come the end of the season. He will leave at the end of the campaign, and Tottenham will go in search of a new manager. Obviously, a lot can happen during that time. There could be a U-turn. There could be something that happens in which keeps Conte at the club. A lot of stuff can happen. My point is this: if Kane wants to stay, and he wants to stay because of Conte, because he's happy and all that kind of stuff, that all comes together, fair enough. If there's uncertainty with Conte though, why would you risk your career going down as one of a bit of a disappointment in terms of trophies, simply for a club that you love and admire. I get it. If he wants to stay, I get it. But also, I think it shows a lack of ambition. And again, if it's because he wants to stay because of Conte and how great of a manager he is and so on and so forth, fair enough. But like I said, Conte might not be there at the end of the season. And then, once again, Tottenham are throwing themselves into a bit of uncertainty. And I think, like, again, they are risking having an amazing striker in Harry Kane and just wasting him by having him stay there on the promise that we will do better. We'll get a better manager. We'll get better players, but we're not going to invest that much, and we're not going to get another manager because because we struggle with getting managers. Under Nuno Espirito Santo, he was at their 12th choice. They even interviewed Conte before him, but didn't want Conte because Conte had too many demands, it seemed, originally. Until obviously they got desperate and they caved into his demands. And I would probably say that Conte is probably getting more and more annoyed by each and every passing week that maybe those demands are not being fulfilled. It's just baffling to me. I don't understand why he would re-sign. If I was Kane, I'd get out of Tottenham as soon as possible. And I think it would actually do better for Tottenham, actually, because I think Tottenham, I know there's 18 months left on his contract, and I know that they probably wouldn't fetch as much of the money as what they could, because they might have to cut the price down with only having a year or a year and a half left on his current deal. But there's still talk about 85 million that will be the price tag for Kane. Take that money and rebuild. Like, I know it's difficult. I know it's going to be difficult to replace a striker that obviously has been there for a number of years, scored plenty of goals, helped you be the kind of team you are, massive help towards constantly getting top 4 year after year for the most part, and obviously getting getting to where they were, not just in the league, but as far as what they could have done, or maybe could have done better in certain competitions and everything. Just take that money and rebuild. I know it will be difficult, like I say, to replace that goal-scoring striker, but it is possible. With the right manager, with the right investment and everything, it certainly is possible to do that. It's just whether or not Tottenham will do it, whether or not Kane wants to do it. And like I say, for me, if he doesn't do it, it shows a lack of ambition, although slightly admirable. But for me, he's got to get out of Spurs. He has to get out of Spurs. And Spurs, I think it'll be probably the best for Spurs as well. As much as it might not seem it might be the best for Spurs as well. But those are just my thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of this whole Harry Kane situation? Do you think he'll stay at Spurs at the end of the campaign, or do you think he will move on in the summer? Maybe even the winter. Maybe something could actually transpire. Stranger things have happened, but it seems more likely it will be the summer. Or do you think, of course, he will re-sign with Spurs beyond his current deal and see out the rest of his career at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium? I'd love to know your guys' thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it on this particular topic down below in the comments section. I'm sure it'll make for interesting reading. Otherwise, hit the like button, if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new or want to see more content like this. Both things always and forever greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you very much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video, and I will see you all again soon in another video.